You know, you can take more than 2 sips of one glass, you know, just one at a time.
Well, I didn't put the whole 16 ounces in there.
Oh, okay. So you had to make room for the rest of it. I got you. I understand.
Oh, God, this is such a good beer. It's going to be gone in no time.
glass planning.
16-ounce beer, 16-ounce glass. All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room. It is Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. Jersey Johnny coming at you. And with me, as always, is Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai. All right, try saying hello now.
Here we go.
There you go.
Hey.
You were muted.
Yeah, everyone wishes they had that power, right? Well, happy World Play Your Ukulele Day. I don't know who came up with this. Maybe Tiny Tim.
Happy World Play Your Ukulele Day. Look at that.
So I'm gonna
what? Play your not in tune ukulele. Go ahead, play.
Well, this is I think this?
A detuned ukulele.
No, I think that's a Q sharp.
Q sharp. There you go.
Yeah. Whatever. We'll put this over here. I mean, I can play bass. I can't play that. Right, well, nothing's so weirdly tuned.
Whatever it means. Happy World Play Your Ukulele Day. So there you go. And also, need to say, Happy Groundhog Day.
Oh yeah. Did he see a shadow?
He did see a shadow. There he is, right there. There's the fucker.
Right there. You little bastard.
See your shadow. Thanks a lot. All right. Yeah. We need another 6 more weeks of winter.
Couldn't they blindfold him?
Seriously, you know, there was no sun today. It was snowing everywhere. How the hell did he see a shadow? How about you turn the street light off or do it a little later in the day?
I think it's rigged. I really think it's rigged.
It's you know what? And how come the whatever the hell he is that pulls him out of his cage is the only one that can hear him talk?
Oh yeah. Well, maybe that guy's maybe he's an NFL referee and Brady wanted more winter.
You know what? That is absolutely possible.
Yeah, I think that's what probably happened.
Yeah. Well, why don't we ask our guest what he thinks about it too? Why don't we bring our guest in today?
Who's that?
Our guest today is Mr. Augie Carton playing a ukulele right there. There he goes, right there.
Hey, I think Augie and I can both be on. You think either one of us can get into Radio Pete's band?
We could try. We can try.
There
we try.
It was very hard to tune to Q sharp that quickly, but I think I got there.
It's Harry Lugnuts' band, but Radio Pete.
Lugnut's, that's right.
Pete has a side project that might work, but
Is it torturing small animals and children?
Folks, in case you didn't know, Harry Lugnuts is one of the guys on the sports podcast with me, and the music for this podcast and the sports podcast is his band. So, and that's actually him singing too. So, in case you were wondering. So anyway,
what's up, Brian?
How is it going?
Me or him?
Brian just says cheers, Mr.
Well,
Augie Carton.
Yeah. Hey, cheers,
Brian. How's it going for me? Good. Snow day, dude. You guys know me. I'm still a child at heart. It started snowing and I was like, well, I guess I don't have to do anything but drink and sled. So I did some drinking and some sledding. We closed the brewery yesterday for an official snow day.
Wow. Look at that.
And today we kind of half-ass opened. So last time we spoke, was I full-time brewery yet?
No,
I quit Wall Street yet?
No. It was maybe a couple weeks
You
before.
you quit your day job?
Yes, he did.
I quit my day job. Well, I quit one of my 2 day jobs. I am now full-time at the brewery and no longer going to or remoting into my Wall Street job as of first of the year. So,
congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a big fucking deal. But yeah, so just what am I gonna do? Drink some tasty double IPAs and
that's it.
Do some
watch my kids sled. We did a big hike and
yeah. Do you got snowshoes? Snowshoes?
For some of it. The good news is I have very good neighbors next door with snowshoes. So as long as we let them go first, we just walk where they walk and we don't even deal with it.
They tamp everything down for you. Nice.
That's right.
We took a walk
There's
up
a
to
path.
We took a walk up to the beach today. The sand was pretty much in Ocean Avenue, and the ocean was I'd probably say about 2/3 of the way to the boardwalk. It was very short beach today. So.
Wind got the surf up, huh?
Yeah, just a bit. So it was weird too because there was we're stepping. There was layers of sand, snow. It looked like a parfait. It was really weird.
That was like one of the polar bear plunges we did.
The tidal, so the rivers, right? Not the ocean, but the bay, the inlets, and the inlands. They had the tidal ice flow that does like a 3-day version of the shelf up north.
Right.
Whenever it gets below zero for long enough, it's always funny to see that. Like, wow. So I guess this river or this inlet freezes at about 2 inches at a time because there's 19 stacks in a millefeuille of river ice.
Millefeuille.
On the edge of it.
It's a French cooking term. To river ice. Love it.
Layers. Anyway, I'm open to beer. So
let's open the beer. Let's do that.
There's a reason.
You guys. You guys have played along with us long enough to know that I'm terrible at the merchandising and marketing. And I finally have this kid, Ryan, who's babysitting that part of the job, who's doing a great job. But nothing delights me more than when I said to him, look, if you're going to make a whip glass, I just really want one can of whip to fit in it perfectly.
Look at that.
And my delight at the fact that works now has me drinking whip out of this. You know me, I'm a can drinker. I'm like, it makes me so happy when it pours exactly right every time. So here's to you guys. Cheers.
There you go.
So considering that I have a whip and John has a whip.
And I have a whip as well.
Can you figure out why I'm wearing the glasses?
Devo?
No. Why is it called whip?
Oh, orange whip. But there's a million things in there. And Devo was the evolutionary wore those glasses with their little bucket hats, didn't they? Weren't they Ray-Bans?
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
but I'm wearing it for the Blues Brothers, and of course,
if all three of us hold it up, we have orange whip.
Orange whip.
That's the point.
There you go.
And of course, I picked too large of a glass.
Oh, Jesus Christ! You have one of those? That mug gets me.
No, he did that on purpose so he could put 3 cans in the damn.
No, I only have 2 of them left. So
I got a couple if you want one of them.
Will it be funny if I finish my glass before you fill yours?
That'd be funny. That
Too
would
late.
actually be funny. And oddly enough, that intro we used too, that was perfect for the glassware situation for today. So.
Oh, look at that.
All right.
That
Cheers.
Proper little glass.
Cheers.
Cheers to you guys. Thank you. Sorry.
Cheers to you. Your newfound.
I've got
Brian, cheers to you.
I got a new rig here, so I'm trying to remember where the heck the camera is.
Whoa.
Did you make it in?
Did it get in?
No, I lit a fire. I lit a fire because last time we did this, I had a fire going.
You did?
I felt obliged to do another, but it just had one of those. Wait, did something on fire pop out of the fire pops? So I was. Nervous.
Did it hit a sap bubble?
We did that too. We had our fire pit. We have a propane fire pit. One of the rocks, the lava rocks in the bottom. It rained, but we have it covered. Some reason there was a little condensation in there. We lit it one night. All of a sudden, they're popping, but they're flying out of the damn thing.
Yeah.
And hit on the other side of the yard. I'm like, yeah, we're shutting this thing off. And we went out. I went out and bought fire glass instead.
Steam locomotion.
Fire glass is such a. I don't know who thought of it. I have it in one of my fire situations, and I get the idea of it. Every time I look at it, I feel like I'm trying to Don Johnson. You know what I mean? Like I really, I know that it only works that way, and I know that there's a reason to use it. But like I have a fire, like an on-off fireplace in the bedroom, and it's got fire glass all over to make it pretty. It's blue and white to match whatever.
Sure.
Somebody really designed the hell out of it. And every time I look at it, I'm like, you are just not that Don Johnson. Like, you need the pink jacket with the sleeves rolled up.
Yeah, you got to roll the sleeves up and everything else.
Yeah.
Maybe a skinny tie every now and then.
I feel like this pastel shirt.
Bryce says, drink with us for
Drinking
a change.
with you guys for a change.
Drink it up. La Toro Triple from Bolero.
I can drink 2 of these. He'll be tanked before I am.
Yeah, really. Exactly.
Can somebody translate that?
Can somebody translate that? It's a
Is
Lots
it
of-
the bowl?
The bowl triple, yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, I think it's supposed to be a play on. It's supposed to be a play on terroir, and they're just making
No.
TAU because of
No.
Taurus. I don't know what
I think it's the bull triple. I think that's what it is.
the bowl triple.
Pretty
Uh,
sure
I
it's
know
the bull triple.
TAUR as in Taurus.
Right. So
We're not talking the car.
Well,
no.
But maybe you never know with
Could
Scott.
could be.
It could very well be.
What was that? What was the
Brian, let us know. He's the producer. So
Wait,
Yeah.
was it RoboCop or Judge Dredd where they were cops in the future and the Ford Taurus was the cop card and let you know we were in the future?
That was RoboCop.
Was it RoboCop? Okay.
No, it was RoboCop
The minute you said that,
because in Judge Dredd, those things hovered. They were like completely redesigned.
didn't they have Torst in Demolition Man too?
maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
It could have been.
Anyway, Bob and Scott, get
Bob.
on it. Make a Judge
A ro-
Dredd or whatever.
Or RoboCop
Judge Dredd will-
Taurus. Yeah.
Exactly.
Put La Tarots by Ford all over it.
Yeah, Brian, let us know what that is. Get in touch with Scott.
Yeah,
Get in touch
because
with Bob.
they don't seem to have any problems with copyright infringement over there.
No. What
There's
is-
no way that's copyright infringement. There's no way.
I'm kidding.
They haven't used any word the right way. Like I think it's hilarious what they do, but there was somebody just got in trouble for that Milk Duds beer.
No, yes. Hershey got
and
them.
it was like, yeah, but somebody's like, oh, all these craft brewers are fast and loose with the thing, and I'm like, I got a friend who pretty much adds Milk Duds to every beer he ever made without issue. Of course, he didn't make the label for his beer, the Milk Duds
Dud
box.
label. Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? I was like, it's like, I don't think they're mad somebody used Milk Duds. Once you buy them, you can do whatever the fuck you want with them.
Exactly.
Just don't use the label. And these guys, those two are hilarious. Like, get Scott on the phone. Find out a good Milk Dud bull pun, and they'll tell us. I'm sure he's got one ready.
Yeah,
I'll
really.
text him right now.
You text him. Yeah, you do it. We can't both do it.
Oh, you were doing it?
No. Go ahead. Keep going. I already put my phone down.
You got the board. You're supposed to be running the damn show. I'll take care of it.
You do it. You take care of that. Actually, Brian should be doing it.
Yeah, let the producer do it. Brian,
Brian,
get on that.
Brian left us hanging. He threw that little bait out.
There we go. Here we go.
Yeah.
La
Series
Tarot
of
is a series of
lithographs.
lithographs by Pablo Picasso made with the assistance of Ferdinand Morlot from December 1945 to January 1946. And that's from
I'm pretty
Wikipedia.
sure you're allowed to steal Picasso's IP at this point. I don't think they've broken any rules there.
Probably not. So there you go. So he grabbed that. And
Thank you,
obviously-
Brian.
Thank you, Brian. Now
That's his job.
get Scott on the phone and find out a good bull pun for Milk Duds.
There's your next
Here's your
next
next
task, producer.
task. Anyway, so how you gearing up for this weekend?
Me?
You, yes.
So it's so January was low key. I did what I call a damp January. There's
Not quite dry.
there's no such thing as a dry January.
I like that.
It's
I
my
like that.
job
Damn-
to drink.
damn change.
It's my job to drink.
Sure.
But
I think I made up for the dries.
but I tried to only drink to do my job.
There you go.
So if we were working on a beer I had to taste, no, it's better than that, Brian.
It's gotta
If I
gotta
had
be
to
better.
Is that from Wells? If that is from Wells,
It's probably just Brian's. There's no way Scott got back to him that quick. I've texted Scott often, and he doesn't respond that quick. So
no, this is true.
So I tried to only drink for work. So we're going to talk about EBF because it's this weekend. That's where I'm heading. But so we were putting that beer together at the top of the month. They're finalizing the blend and doing all that stuff. So you got to drink when you're doing that. And, you got to QC pretty much every beer that comes off the line. But outside that, I tried to be pretty sensible. So I had a low key January for me. And then this weekend, the first weekend of February, is Extreme Beer Fest. My neighbor, who's one of my favorite drinking buddies, is moving out of his house to knock it down to build a new one to return at the end of summer. But he'll be in a temporary house very far away. So for all of this COVID quarantine, he's been in my bubble in as much as he hasn't been allowed inside my house since last March. But pretty much every Saturday afternoon, we meet in my backyard, light a fire. You guys saw the Woodhouse last time. Light a fire and drink 2 or 3 beers, and that's my seeing people outside my family. So he's leaving, so we're having a proper, he's coming over to drink 6 or 7 cases of beer I've been leaving in the backyard for his arrivals, because without him, I'll kill myself. And then Super Bowl. So EBF Friday night, drinking barley wines with Calagione.
Mm-hmm.
You two tonight. Let's start right now. You two tonight.
All right.
Usually I get 4 beers in during one of these. And then EBF Friday, Knox leaving town on Saturday, and then Super Bowl on Sunday. So this.
So you're not sitting
pan into the fire.
I was going to say,
out of the frying pan into the fire. Is that how you say?
So you're not sitting in on the second session for EBF.
I may. They sent me the box. If you guys want, I got the box. I can show you the box. Hold on.
Sure.
I'll go get it. Which was super nice and super flattering, and something I'd love to do. This EBF is very interesting to me because of how. So I'll show you guys, for those of you that didn't buy tickets. It came like this, with your official Respect beer tasting glasses stuck in the top like this, which I thought
that reminds me of something. I had to make a correction from a previous show, because I think I applied Respect beer as the logo for Stella at one point. Did I not, John?
You may have. I don't remember.
So, and then when that box arrived, I went, "Oh, damn, it's Beer Advocate slogan." Anyway, don't forget the headband, Augie.
So we have these, because one of the Carton family traditions is me and my kids go down to Dogfish and do the Dogfish Dash every spring, where you do some odd shaped, 11-kilometer off-centered beer run around Rehoboth that ends at the brewery, and they just fill you up with his his little sour beers, like I like to drink, the black lime sour or whatever it is.
We
do that every year, and you get these when you run that. So we have 3 dozen of these in the house.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So we got 3 dozen of these in the house, but we got another one. So for those who don't know, then you get this halftime bang tail, which is, I guess, all the companies halftime does business with. You got your 2 halftime koozies for the EBF promoing.
There you go.
And then you got hold on, watch this. Oh my God, you guys. So for those of you watching at home, if anybody is, these guys have known me since I was 40. This year I turned 50. And now
There's
I got
the cheaters.
readers. I'm that guy now. So hold on. So I got Lost Abbey, Libri Divini, Oak Aged Ale with lemon and vanilla.
Oh, I am so looking forward to that one.
Small Iced in Space, other half, which I believe is not an Extreme Beer Fest beer, but somebody dropped out and halftime threw that in to make up the slot so people don't get shorted.
Yeah, that is correct. I forget who it was who dropped out.
Shorts Brews Super Delicious Stout, Extreme Beer Fest edition. Stout aged in Ironfish Distillery maple bourbon barrels. Then you got Double Maple Pusher, Imperial Stout with boysenberry maple syrup from Great Notion.
I think that is the last one.
Then you got Our Little Guy, which is The World Turned Upside Down.
I think the Pusher follows you on Friday.
Ooh. Then Raspberry Cherry Mango Fruit Burst Snacks, Hydra Fruited Sour from Livingston Beer Company. Then you got
the Starburst beer,
I guess. Beer Advocate, Beer Thug Life, Crowns and Hops, F2020 ×3, triple dry hopped West Coast triple black IPA.
A lot of words there.
Hazy O,
triple dry hop, triple black IPA.
And I think that is the 4th beer on Saturday. It's going to be really fun trying to say it.
There you go. That's
all right. So our Oh So Juicy Hazy IPA brewed with malted, rolled, naked oats and oat milk. Hazy O.
Oh, that's Sam's, right?
Yep. Black Miso.
That one's interesting.
We did one of these with Burial last year. We did a white miso cream ale and then a black miso stout, red miso stout. Agent Beer to National LLC, Beer to National, Russian Imperial Stout with miso.
I missed those. I had been assigned to the Great White North.
Whoever this is. Then you got old school barley wine, and here's what's fun to drink with you guys. So this one was bottled 2012 A13. I don't even know what that means. Is that Julian? Anyway, I have one of these out of my cellar. I have one of those out of my cellar from 14 to drink with you guys so that I can save this one for EBF.
There you go.
Then this one, Modest Brewing Company, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Special Reserve Mallow, Oak Aged, Double Marshmallow Imperial Lager.
That won't be sweet at all.
That makes my brewers want to fight, which I delight in, right? The whole idea of EBF is to do something that makes, it's risky and makes people upset. Man, does that upset my brewers. Which I think means they nailed it, right? Your job is to, if you don't run the risk of, somebody's already checked into ours a couple times on Untapped, and it's a very confusing check-in from various people. But one guy wrote, "Pineapple and cherries in a barley wine is an abomination. Quarter star." And I'm like, but extreme. Like, if we didn't piss guys like you off, what extreme thing were we doing? But I loved when I pulled that one out. I was like, does that say double marshmallow lager? And all of my brewers just looked like I had pissed in our own mash tun. I was like, yeah.
That's fun. That's great.
Screw you guys.
Push the envelope and piss the brewers off.
Dude, my brewers take, as you know, from the whip you're drinking, my brewers all love my fuckery, or some of them love my fuckery, but all of them cherish Pilsner. You're not allowed to fuck with Pilsner. And, obviously that means all I do is suggest ways to fuck with Pilsner.
So, Brian says, it's freaking EBF. There are no abominations. That's what he said.
Well, apparently you should go on Untapped. Cartons is an abomination. But now I got to make a barley wine called Abomination.
There you go.
There we go.
And it's to be pronounced like epitome.
Abomination. Is it going to be a double marshmallow?
A double marshmallow boysenberry barley
I control my own brewers at the same time. That would be perfect.
Because they're not watching. They're too busy.
All right, so hold on. I'm going to put the readers down again. So this is a old school by Mr. Calagione out of my cellar.
2014?
Well, there's a date on it somewhere. I just got to find it for you.
Well, Brian said he's got a 2017. He has older in his cellar. You think he'll switch it out and save the 17? So I'm assuming he says he's got a 17. So maybe
in his box.
Well, I thought, yeah, that's right.
So here's what's funny. The one over there, I don't think has a date on it, but this one is bottled on 10/27/14.
Okay.
The one I picked up in the box, I believe, had a Julian coating on it, which might be something since the merger, but I might be reading it wrong. Let me double check. Bottled 2012 A0'13. Yeah, that's definitely Julian.
There you go.
So, changing.
So Brian, get Sam on the phone and find out what that means.
Yeah.
Come on.
He's still waiting for a reply from Wells. So,
you want me to ring Wells up? Be like, "What's up, motherfucker?"
There you go.
he'll answer for you.
Well, he'll answer you and I just an hour from now.
Yeah. He'll answer Augie immediately though, unless he's out with his kid in the snow.
Is that the 14?
Yeah, it's good. It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. Figs are such a good idea in this.
Yeah. I forget what year I got from for the old school. Man, I could go grab it, but
it's
what else are we doing?
The cord's not long enough.
The cord's not long enough. You don't worry about it.
But you know what? I need to
Gene
grab
Lynch
another
came in.
Gene
Lynch has been to EBF with us. Gene Lynch has been putting up.
Gene Lynch is, yeah.
We know you got 2011.
Wait, you got it in the box or you got it in the cellar? I got it in the cellar.
He got it in the box.
You got a 2011 in the box, Gene? And Brian says he thinks I think Augie will more likely answer Sam. I can probably get Wells. There you go. Okay.
I'm gonna go check my bottle. I'm gonna be right back because I need.
Why don't you check your box?
Canned beer anyway. So hold on.
Let's check your box. That's
The
what she
funny
said.
part about this is it wants to blow off. It's been in my cellar probably since 14,
In the box. Gene
and
got
it's
it
a
2011 in
good
the box.
static cellar. It's a good static cellar, but
You've had it in there
like
since
it's definitely
14.
bottle. But I would have bought it at the brewery.
Mhm.
So because you're a neighbor of mine, more or less. You're 20 minutes south of me,
Sure.
but so Dogfish Head, especially the inn in Lewis,
Mhm.
is just far enough away that I can call it a vacation, but do it in a Saturday.
Sure.
So, and it's a happy space for me. Before there was even a Carton Brewing, we'd go down there, my wife and I. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we need a break. Mom, will you take the kids for a Saturday night? Get in the car, 3-hour drive down there, get a dinner, spend the night in the inn, which is fantastic, drive
Sure.
back. And we've only been gone 14 hours, but we've been somewhere completely different.
Sure.
So,
Yeah,
and I always bought
we've done that too. Drive down, go to Milton, stop at a couple other places, head down to stay over, and then scooch down to Burley Oak and head back. And on the Sunday,
It's nice that you have the self-control to do that. See, 60 is still one of my beers.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm near 60, there's no second location. You know that old adage, like, don't follow a hippie to a second location.
right? Yeah.
There is no second location for Augie after it. Like, I remember being carefully carried out of Sam and Mariah's backyard because I discovered that there was a fridge near the pool full of 60. And while everybody else was actually talking and doing things, I just kept surprising myself with, there's still more beer here. And I
carefully carried, not just tossed.
Yeah. My brewer at the time was Pete, and Pete was like, come on, boss. We got to get you out of here. You're a shambles. And I was like, I am. You know why? There's 60. You want a 60, Pete? I opened him when he's like, no, we're going.
So for
you had to
anybody,
drink it though. You already opened it.
for anyone who still cares,
Well, you can walk.
2017 is what I got.
You got a 2017.
Nobody respects you, Dave.
So
No.
you and Brian got 2017. Augie got
Yep.
2012 or 13, maybe
12.
like that. And Gene got.
Can somebody
11.
read the Julian code?
Do you have? It may be Incan or Mayan.
No, there's a Julian code reader. Like, there's a way to read this. Hold on.
Oh. Brian, you want to get on it?
No, you guys are fine.
We're working them
Hi,
today.
Brian.
Brian says
Julian.
those old school barley wines hold up very well in the cellar. And his name is Altschul. That
Which
means
is-
old school.
In German.
Right?
Germany.
That's true. That's true.
So this is your beer, Brian.
Beer.
This is yours.
All right. So bottled in 2012A. 2012A 013. Go. Julian calendar date. Oh, come on. Just tell me what it means.
Just want you to sign up with an email.
All right. So, oh, God damn it. So 2012, right? So we did that. So 20. Nope. It's not Julian.
It's not Julian.
2021A 013.
2021A? You said it's 2012A.
2012A. Oh, there we go. But there's no zero in the second column. Whatever. All right. Never mind. There is a way to read it.
2012A.
This is why when you buy beer from me, it just says the day I released it.
Sure. What is it? 2012A, and then what's next there?
Oh, wait. Here. 002. 2012. So, second day of January. Second day of January.
I'm just curious as to how Brian knows his is 17, Dave knows his is 17, Gene knows his is 11, and
because this is actually done on my bottle in a
regular
real code. So
That's
I'm
what
wondering
saying. So
if
the
maybe
only
something
odd
got rubbed
code-
off.
I'm guessing mine
Please
is
don't
the
take
newest.
it that way.
I'm guessing mine is the newest. I'm guessing mine is the
The 20.
Either way before they switched to real dates or since they
Or
merged.
something
You know
brand
what I
new.
mean?
Yeah.
Everything we have from 14 to 18 has a date on it.
Sure.
It's two.
Yes, I'm telling you, Dave, I let you down.
That's fine.
Well, how is the 14? That's the more important question right now. That's what you're drinking.
So what I like about fucking with barley wines is so when you all right, so everybody makes barley wines different, like everybody makes everything different. But in my mind, when you're really making a barley wine, you're just boiling the fuck out of Maris Otter till it's thick and sweet, pitching a British ale yeast of some kind, hopping it to some amount, and then letting it get old. And it's the oldness that makes it pretty, right? Because when they're fresh, they're all like just toffee, Werther's sweet. And if you bitter them then...
And jet fuel.
Yeah.
Right. And if you bitter them then... Well, not really jet fuel. They don't have to be. That's if people screw them. So what's funny is if you properly oxidize it, that gets more... People that don't really know, the palate call that estery, the oxidization of it. Sure. They call it whatever, ethanol or whatever. But that's just learning how to taste. But what I'm saying is you're basically making a cooked brown sugar of brown malt sugar. You know what I mean? You just boil it hard for a long time, reduce it as much as you can or whatever, however much you want to. And then it comes out sweet. And I just had a fresh Bigfoot. And if you hop it like he hops it, like I don't think I've had fresh Bigfoot ever in my life. It showed up on my show, the blind one, so I was drinking it blind, and I thought it was somebody's rendition of 90 because it was so hoppy. But because I don't think I've ever had Bigfoot while the hops were still fresh in it until that experience.
Sure.
And for those of you wondering, his show is Steal This Beer.
We don't need to talk about that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be in trouble when I'm done with this. This is good.
We'll plug you.
But anyway, so what you do is you make that and then you age that and it oxidizes and it goes its ways. And then that's where the wrinkles that make it interesting come in, and they're contrary wrinkles, right? So you've got that Werther's, Rolo's, caramel, chocolatey, treacly thing, and then some wood tannin and some oxidization pulls at that and makes it taut and makes it like that crinkled paper flavor. And somewhere between the sweetness and the oxidized sugars, you have that brulee food flavors. And depending on how well you cooked it or how hard you cooked it, these can become anything you've ever burnt sugar on, right? So in the one I did, I was going for a pineapple upside down cake idea because I like a little acidity and a little freshness in my beers. What Sam did here is figs and prunes, which is that dried raisin thing. So my guess is he did something with some special B in here when he did the original Maris Plus. He did Maris plus a bag of special B, and then put the figs and dates in there, which are just the flavors that are already in the beer, which I think is what you owe to barley wine, right? Like I don't think you should just put maple syrup in a barley wine. You can. I'm not telling you not to. I'm just saying there's so much potential there that what I think you do is you put the maple syrup in before the yeast, let the yeast eat all the maple syrup. So there's just this whisper of it on the finish 20 years later.
Right.
So putting figs and prunes into this thing, and then I'm sure he aged it to some extent, but now I'm drinking it 6 or 7 years old. It's all just integrated. It's all just figgy pudding from some British trifle place. And then obviously a ton of booze. And I wouldn't be surprised. So if you guys know Fergus Henderson of British fame, the awful guy, the spotted pig, he would make a dessert that actually tastes like this because he would never let it just be sweet. He would always burn something or add something to counter the sweet. That's this kind of flavor.
Gotcha. Wish I had one right here. Was drinking it. That would be awesome. Barley one's one.
I only have the one, so
Yeah, I can't open that.
Oh, that's the other thing you're talking about.
Yeah, I gotta wait.
Look at my nose is all red already.
Yeah.
Damn you guys. Fucking
Oh,
damn
it's like
January plus straight into a 15% old school.
this is like back in the day, Augie.
There you go. Brian, Brian actually said, he says it's old. He has a 2012E 120 that was, I guess, 120. So. Okay,
Oh, I'm 120. So that's the day that's the day you're honorary allowed to call 120 IPA barley wine. If you guys aren't down with the don't drink beer section of the interwebs,
right,
you should be. It's important. This thing is too heavy. I need a lighter, fresher beer, or I'm going to be wasted right away. I'm going to go grab another whip.
Go grab another whip.
While he's doing that,
I'm not going anywhere. This time I'm in the house.
Yes. So while he's
doing
doing
that,
through
the door, that's to have a slash, if you will.
Gotcha.
Augie, I'm gonna open another one of your beers, and not the one we talked about. Not the one we talked about, John. I went and grabbed another one.
You did.
And I will drink that other one later.
I'm sure you will.
So I don't want to waste your fingers' work through the day.
Oh, don't worry about that. We can just call it what it is. So.
But I'm going to open up.
You guys, I've added a log to the fire. This was my favorite hangout in a long time. I'm having tasty beers. I'm putting wood on the fire.
This is great.
I'm actually going to open one of your purple hazes here. A pineapple haze.
Purple.
Oh, I was going to say.
Purple haze is Abita. You did an Abita
yes, it is.
collab?
Yeah, there you go. So I'm opening the pineapple haze here because you got me thinking when you were talking about the beer that you made for EBF. You've got pineapple. I'm going to show you again. You have worked pineapple into quite a few beers. I remember one of the anniversary boats was a collab, and you roasted some pineapple for that one?
Yeah, so
SS Kentucky, right?
Yep. There's a series of hops you can put. I went a little vigorous here, guys. My game is.
You get a little aggressive with that pour.
Can I do it? Will the pellicle break? There it goes.
One drip. He would have failed Das Boot.
Das Boot. So there's this again, letting the beat like Sam did with this one.
That's pretty.
There you go. Nice. Oh, look at that. That's an original Carton Tiku.
That is
back before Tikus were a thing.
I'll turn it around so we can see the logo.
There you go.
That's fancy schmancy.
So the SS Kentucky that Dave just mentioned, you did that at.
I did that against the grain, and then we did it. We do it here every now and then. So the thing there was, I like to let the beer suggest what you adjunct with, right? Like I'm not like, oh, this beer should taste like marshmallows. I like to taste marshmallows in a beer and then be like, could we push that in an interesting way? So there's a couple hops in combination that smell like pineapple. And there's actually a hybrid pellet called Zythos that smells a lot like pineapple.
Sure.
So around the time I met the Against the Grain guys, they were famous because they were a smoke house, like a barbecue shop. And there were smoky aspects to a lot of what they did. And at the time, kind of pineapple-y was a new wrinkle on hops, right? I'm talking back in 2012 or whatever.
Sure. But
the hop combinations that were pineapple-y we did that first SS 2012. We put together to taste super pineapple-y. Actually did a version of a beer for Kivovitz's site, Jersey guys. One of the first he wanted to put a beer somewhere for something. So we did a beer with him. And all these were designed to be super pineapple-y IPAs at the time when that was a new thing. And actually I stopped going down that path because Stone put out Enjoy By, which tasted exactly like 2012. And I saw no reason for me to make 2012 if Stone was going to be putting it all over the street. This is back when it was.
Which year
when it was
that
more,
Enjoy By?
It was the first Enjoy By.
The very
first Enjoy By. It came out around the same time. It was clearly, I can't prove it, but it was clearly a very similar malt bill, Chico yeast, and a very similar hop bill. And back then, the job of craft brewers was to taste different than everybody else. And since we were a 500 barrel a year brewery and Stone was a 250,000 barrel a year brewery, I figured people were going to get theirs before ours.
Sure.
So there was no reason for me to make a beer that reminded people of Stone beer. So we just kind of dashed it. But that's when I met these guys, and they were smoking something, and I was like, we smoked.
Hey, there is hemp seed oil in this.
That one's got CBD terpenes in it. Don't tell anybody.
I won't say a word.
I'm not saying anything.
But you just did.
Well, it's hinted at on the can. It's explained
Just a
that there's
little.
hemp terpenes, which is code for CBD on it. But
which is nothing like THC.
Nothing like THC. God forbid. But anyway, what's funny is, who's now doing that is what's his name over in outside Philadelphia, Tired Hands. He's just started putting together hemp terpenes that he's selling. Like, oh, we should talk because I've got tons of them in oils that I add to beers, and we could have fun with this. Anyway, got to get on the phone with Gene. But so back to that. So I was in this wrinkle of I like things to taste like pineapple, and they were smoking things. I was like, can we smoke pineapple? And at the time, I forget what wood they were using, but out there in Kentucky, because they smoke everything, they have all these fruit woods. So I was like, could we find like a peach tree or a pear tree and smoke the pineapple over that, and then add that to the beer? And the wrinkle they put on it, which I love, is he's like, bah, with fruit, you don't really want to smoke it because it'll pick up a lot of smoke and it won't help. Why don't we smoke the malt? And then we'll just burn the fruit. So what we're doing was we smoked a bag of just straight up Pilsner malt over some, I think it was pear wood. And then once the bag of malt was smoked, we just threw the chopped pineapple or the cut up pineapples directly into those burning coals, let them sear and ash up and pick up that flavor, and then added those to the beer. So that's how that, for me, that's like, it's 10 wrinkles of flavor there, depending on how you do it. So now we roast our own pineapples, and we just buy a bag of smoked malt because we don't have these guys have a barbecue house, so they can smoke anything they want. For us, it's like, oh, buy a bag of smoked malt, we'll roast the pineapples. But it's a very fun project.
Yeah, you can taste the char on that pineapple, on that one.
Yeah, that's
great.
The key. So this beer for this event, we did that too, which I think is part of why all these kids who think they just bought a
abomination.
Well, no. So that guy's at least coming from the purist angle. The problem is the kids who bought a pineapple cherry barley wine and are mad that it doesn't taste like a milkshake IPA, right?
Right. Yeah. That's for sure.
There's definitely a lot of pineapple and cherry in it, but both were roasted over cherry wood and smoked. And then that was pureed and blended and then reduced over a flame till it was a syrup. And then that syrup was added pre-fermentation, so it was all dried out.
Oh, wow.
And then that was the fresh liquid that was added to 3-year-old barrels, 2-year-old barrels, 1-year-old barrels. So when you open that beer, it smells like an old, like Fino sherry. Like it's wicked dry, bone. It's super oxidized, super pretty. You get that first thing where you're like, oh, it's a barley wine, or it's an old barley wine. What an old barley wine. And then that fruit wash from that clean beer comes through.
And you are the
sales back down. So
you're the fourth beer on that day. I hope you're the fourth beer on that day. I hope there's enough time after the third to cleanse palate so we can get a nice clean taste on that.
So what I love about this idea, having been EBF is it's such a tear. I think I've been at 10 of them now. Like we've been honored to be part of it for quite some time, when it was small and when it got huge, and now that it's the smallest it's ever been. But what's weird about that is you want to do something extreme. Like there was a year we had just made regular coffee and we brought regular coffee and it was super, super popular. Mm-hmm. And then the next year we went back and they're like, why didn't you bring regular coffee? And we're like, because that was extreme last year and this is what we're trying to do now. And there are people in that room, there's so many thousands of people go to that thing, and they're just trying to pick cool beers, and they just want you to bring the whale they couldn't capture.
Right.
So when you try to bring your more thoughtful stuff, or your more weird stuff, or your more who gives a fuck stuff, guys that have waited online for 20 minutes to get up to your beer to taste it, and you're like, well, really you want to drink a 750 and experience the whole thing, and it'll evolve and it'll change. You're like, motherfucker, give me an ounce. I got to get down to the marshmallow fluff, whatever.
That's one
thing.
question.
And
you brought up something. It's a question I wanted to ask you on, especially this episode because of EBF's coming up. We've got 11 beers in EBF this year. 2 of them are by the sponsor, so let's cut it down to 9. 1 backed out. We had to fill someone. So now we've got 8. But let's go back up to 9. You were one of the 9 breweries invited to participate in this. There's got to be a sense of pride in that. Talk about that. Were you thrilled when you were chosen?
So,
because this is a huge event.
Yeah,
you've got one of the beers in it. One of the 9 beers that were not by the sponsor.
I don't want to downplay that honor. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely an honor to be asked, and it's definitely an honor to be considered. Well, it's an honor to be considered one of the 100 extreme breweries.
But now we're talking 9.
It's same honor to be one of the 9. That we believe we belong there because we believe we fuck around.
Oh yeah, you did.
And I think if you look in there, in that box, what I'm happy to say is we've done some version of almost all those beers before.
Sure.
So that's why I think we're in the right company, right? Like the miso thing we did a couple of years ago because Burial did a miso thing, and I was like, that's genius. Can I do that with you? So it's not like it's my idea. It's just something I've done, but I like it as the instinct. What I think the opportunity here is to get back to, like, there's always this discussion behind the scenes with some of us at EBF where we're like, we should make everybody bring a 2% beer. You know what I mean? Just to like, where are you being extreme if all you're doing is
up in the ABV,
quintuple dry hopping? You know what I mean?
Right.
There's definitely ebbs and flows to this, but there's got to be some, there's got to be something that levels the playing field for experimentation. I'm not saying you don't want to make everybody happy. You want the room to be happy, but you can't win EBF. So if you're not trying to do something out your comfort zone, what are you doing? Why are you there? What's extreme about it?
It comes into your.
I love Sam, but I love Sam being the sponsor. Can do things like that Mace beer he did 2 years ago. Like Mace is meant to make people uncomfortable. Mace is meant to make people uncomfortable. He made a beer with Mace in it. Some people got mad at him because they were uncomfortable by it.
Now you talking the are you talking the capsaicin based mace or the spice mace that's wrapped around a nutmeg?
No, the capsicum mace. He made a beer with Mace, the company Mace, or something like that.
I missed that.
Yeah. Well, it pissed everybody off, and rightly so, right? Like, it's like, I came here because I like chocolate. You know what I mean? And
well, you're at the wrong show.
You should have went to the chocolate EB.
No, but they're at the right show because 99 guys have chocolate something, right? But so it was tilting that way.
Right.
Right.
So what I like about and the other thing is, so there's that thing, Dave, I know I've told you this story a million times before, but when I was like 23 and I was working at a bar on the Jersey Shore, and I was the young bartender with a wine predilection, the owner of the bar.
Wine predilection, that is a understatement.
But at 23, it was just at 23.
Yeah, maybe at 23. Yeah.
But so he sent me to so he had one of those, bar owners get all these things in Jersey that are, So he gave me an invitation to go to the Times Square Marriott, where every single producer of California Cabernet was tasting their California Cabernet. It's 1992 or 3. I'm 22 or 3 years old. I'm super ecstatic. I go in. I know how to taste. I wasn't super bummed. Like, I was spitting. I was doing everything right. But I learned the most important lesson of my life because it was all the same. You know, I mean, it was California Cabernet from this vintage, and it was everybody's bottle, estate bottling, and reserve bottling, right? So and at the time, you know, this is pre the boom of cult cabs. This is before all that, where it was just, you know, there were 100 wineries in Napa. There were no garagistas yet or any of that. So it's the 100 wineries, and so 300 wines, and you go around, you taste, you spit, you go back there. So the boss, to encourage me, was like, buy a case of beer, buy a case of wine, and bring it home, or order a case of wine for us, and we'll put it on the menu. And when I was in the room, I remember everything was 90s Cali, right? So Wine Advocate hadn't destroyed California Cab yet. Everything wasn't, you know, chocolate cake and cherries yet. But the dominant aromas were like, you know, currant and cassis and cedar and pencil shavings, and just really neat kind of
pencil shavings. I've not heard that one. That's
but so yeah, it's
I get it. I get it. Yeah, I get it. But I never heard
some
minerals,
that way. Right? Graphite plus cedar. Yep. But so it was all those things that I was super intrigued by. I was super loving it. And I remember this one really, like, I was like, this is the one. This is amazing. I fucking love this wine. It's just so extracted, and it's got all this stuff. So I ordered the case. It came in. And luckily my boss wasn't as critical as I was. He's like, great wine, good job. And then I tasted it, and I fucking hated it. Because it was so bombed out with all those things that everything in the room was. That's why it stuck out to me. My palate was tired. I wasn't thinking straight. And it was more alcohol, more cedar, more, you know, more cassis, more blah, 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 blah. And alone, it wasn't a very fun, food-friendly wine. It was a bombed out Cali Cab that became cult cab 5 years later. But the lesson learned was you need a second, third, and fourth tasting before you rate anything, which is why everybody hates my Untapped account, because I don't rate my first anything, right? Yeah. But that's that room, right? So what we learned is if we're trying to make these thoughtful extreme beers, and some poor guy has been standing on line for 10 minutes to get your beer, and he gets 1 ounce, and now he's about to go on another line, asking him to think for 20 minutes is unfair. He wants to taste it. What's fun about this situation is everybody's got a whole can of beer. I mean, so we've already seen people opening their cans and splitting them 5, and 5 guys check into this 12-ounce can of beer on their Untapped, and ooh, we all got it first.
We've never done that, John, have we?
No.
No, but we've never done that on Brian's deck. Never.
But what I'm saying is, largely the people will have the whole can to actually pay attention to. Right. And I think for the brewers, everybody who's ever been part of EBF, but especially those of us who have been invited to do this, that's an exciting opportunity or situation, because it's not 1 ounce and see you later, and I'm trying to get these 50 beers ticked in a 3-hour window. I've got 2 days to drink 6 beers a day. I'm gonna wrap my head around it. And in my whatever section, I think I'm on camera for 15, 20 minutes. If you drink the first half the can, put it aside, finish the night, and then come back to it, I want what you thought of that beer the next morning, you know, over time with 12 ounces. That's the first time a beer tasting, or a real beer tasting, or
right,
works that way. So I see it as a great opportunity to change the conversation of what these beer things need to be, right? Rather than 50,000 of us getting in a room and trying to get 50 shots of beer in us in 3 hours. I think is more promising.
I'm laughing because I'm remembering following your check-ins at a particular maybe Savor event in Washington, D.C. one year, and having to ask one of the person that came down with you, because you disappeared for 3 days. We had to ask if you were still alive after that event. Because you were, oh man, you were checking in rapid fire. It was awesome.
You know what it was? It was CBC. That's Craft Brewers Conference.
Was it CBC? Oh, that's right. It was CBC. It wasn't
in
Savor.
Washington. Yeah.
So it was me. every brewer in the world, and them going, taste this, taste this, taste this, and me going, there's no way I'm going to remember what this fucking thing is. Untapped was the biggest asset in the world that weekend.
Sure.
Like I drank.
Because when you came to
Like,
3 days later,
been to Church Key? Have you ever been to Church Key?
No, I haven't.
All right, so Church Key on any given night is a 50 beer night.
Right.
Like they have everything in the world in there. But
That's why I want to go. Yeah.
Make it the Craft Brewers Conference.
No, forget about it.
Jesus.
With every brewer and their beer in the room.
So is that worse than the brewers only bottle share prior to Hunapu?
Oh, that's nothing.
That's oh, jeez.
That's nothing. We mostly drink
walk in the
lagers
park
with that.
compared
We
to
just
it,
lie to you guys. We drink lagers with that.
When you mentioned before about the whole, and it's definitely a new a good thing that they can come back to the beer and taste it again, like you say, and everything else. What I try to do at EBF or any beer fest really, but especially EBF, is I'll note either in my mind or on my phone. Usually in my mind earlier on, and then eventually in my phone because
your mind goes.
Right.
But then after a while, you can't read what you typed on.
This is true too. This is true. But I'll save the last 45 minutes or so of the beer fest and go back and have a certain amount of the beers. Okay, well this one I got to taste again. This one I got to taste again. This one I want to taste it again.
But there's that risk there's the risk of your palate being exhausted by that point.
There's also the risk. There's also the risk in that situation of it going away.
Right, and
right?
There's always one or two that I miss. There's always one or two that I miss.
So the fun of EBF, so the fun of having my podcast and being part of EBF is you got to spend an hour or two with
this beer, people.
Whatever. But so Justin would figure out. Basically, we wouldn't ask anybody to be on the show the night before.
Now, he's your producer, right?
Yeah. Let's say yes. His job is producing. But Justin would show up the night before, and he just walked the floor. Justin doesn't have my bad behavior. So
who does?
Justin would be like, these guys are great, so let's have them on. And basically, he'd invite them from that night. Like, hey, come to the hotel. We're going to set up a recording thing. Bring 2 beers. And Augie and John will drink them with you, and it'll be awesome. And what was fun about that is then you'd say to that guy who you'd never met before, you don't know anything about except that he's at EBF, so he's clearly got that fuckery in him.
The mindset, yeah.
What knocked your socks off last night? And then you have the 5 beers you have to go find, right? They're the ones that impressed that brewer in that room in his section of experience. But the real problem would be like, is if it knocked his socks off, it probably knocked a couple other people's socks off. And then you go to be like, hey, dude, so I had so-and-so on the show, and they said I should come check out your beer. Can I check out? I'd be like, oh, dude, that went away in the first half hour.
It's
like,
gone.
Well, fuck. So again, a lot of the things that annoy me about the Better Beer events are, I think, solved by this, this setup where it's format, you have the beer.
Sure.
You have the whole beer. Even if you open it, you're like, oh, it's so fusel. I wonder what it'll taste like in an hour. In the room, you just got to dump it and move on.
Exactly.
In this setup, you can be like, well, let's put this over here and come back to it. Like this thing, I've been carefully letting Sam's thing open up while I drink a Pilsner. Like
a Pilsner, yeah. You
can't do that at a beer fest, and for this one, you can.
I think it's time that we open our. I mean, you opened your first and a half beer. So why don't you? Are you gonna open your monkey now?
Oh no, I'm still drinking pineapple.
You're still drinking pineapple because I'm gonna open my second.
How is it?
Yes, I love I love the dryness of it. And
people want to. So the next one of those to talk to that. The next one of those is going to be a strawberry haze, because I found a whole bunch of strawberry flavored weeds, and when I find interesting fruit weeds, we make a haze. We've done cantaloupe and pineapple so far.
Very nice.
So the next one will be a strawberry haze, and the brewers have made the case that if we were vaping it instead of smoking it, it would be sweeter, and therefore I should change yeasts to leave a more residual sugar. And
what was your reply?
And again, I was like, sure, guys. Like, I'm telling you, the fun of 10 years in and especially right now, my head brewer now, Stark, and my R&D brewer, Austin, are both, they're good guys. And they have, not that anybody has an invalid opinion, but I really like their opinions. And when they push something, I guess I've just been arguing for so long that these guys know what I actually care about. And it's not, when I'm like, dude, I don't care if the Juice Boys love it because it says strawberry on it. I'm trying to make something that smells like that weed smells.
Sure.
They're not saying we got to make the Juice Boys happy, which was the last set of arguments. It's we want the most authentic experience, Augie, and we think that's a 4.4 Plato sweeter experience. I'm like, aha, that I can sink my teeth into, that I can play around with. So let's do that.
Sure.
No, I like this, and a lot of people read the can, think that they're going to get.
Well, it says pineapple on it.
Exactly. So they think they're going to get a shit ton of pineapple. And this is not a shit ton of pineapple. This is a nice hint of pineapple amongst a dry APA, right?
Yep.
And
I think
I'm appreciating for that. You have? No. So I'm definitely appreciating.
John, why aren't you actually drinking? Why did you have me on?
I was about to.
Why did you have me on? Force me to drink fucking 15% barley wine against my.
He's waiting for
January.
He's waiting for us to shut up.
I just finished my second. I just finished my second whip. I didn't announce that I poured a second.
Because I'll tell you this. He probably has something prepared to say on this, so he's waiting for us to shut up. There we go. He's got a speech here.
There you go.
So tell us why are you opening this one, John?
Well, we'll get to that in a second. Let me just open it up and pour it off.
Bait and switch.
I just finished my exactly.
If you can drink a barley wine,
what's funny about
he can drink a Trappist triple.
There you go.
Remember
quad.
It's a quad. It's a quad.
Remember when I was tasting this originally? I said I can't tell if he added some special beer. That's just the figs and prunes.
Right.
Yep.
The minute you showed that, I put this to my lips again. I was like, it really is Special B, because that's a Special B heavy beer. And I was like, wait a second, figs and prunes. It might not be fucking Calagione.
Damn, Sam.
Now, you are opening my favorite Trappist. Hands down.
It's hands down my favorite.
Does that mean you haven't had Westerleven?
Oh no, I've had Westvleteren.
So.
Really?
Yeah, and I'm sorry. I like 10 better.
All right.
I like it better than 12. I've had 12. I've had 12, 8, and 6. Westy, I think. I don't remember. I forget the numbers, but I know 12 is their quad.
Right.
But I like this 10 better. It's just this, and I could sit there and smell that beer all day long.
Yeah,
before I drink it.
John, go ahead.
No. I'm just letting this thing. I'm just pouring it and letting it.
Let it do its thing.
Let it hit your nose.
Exactly.
So for me, we've talked about Seal This Beer, I think, twice now. So let's make it thrice.
I love the fact that you use the term thrice. I think thrice should be used more often.
Twice. So the gig of the show, for the one or two of you watching, the gig of the show is we drink blind.
Brian and Gene.
We drink blind out of black glasses, so we don't know what we're drinking. And it's obviously
Brian has done this with you.
Okay. Well, he knows he's done it, but he did it in person. So what I was saying is, back when it was in person, the guest would bring the beer, and 2 times Westy 12 came on. So I had no idea what was in the black glass. And I had no idea what shaped bottle it was poured from. It was brought to me in a black glass, just dropped in front of me, and smell and taste it. And if you find those episodes, and I don't know what they are, and the worst part is Kennedy probably doesn't either. But the things I think somebody put into it, like Calagione here, like maybe they put figs in it, maybe they put prunes in it, because that's the school of beer making I come from, which is if it tastes like it already, let's give that a little goose, let's push that. When I'm no idea I'm drinking Westerleven,
Westy,
whatever.
Just call it Westy.
Westy, as I do. Never did I think that there wasn't something added to it. it's so aromatic. It's so diversified. It evolved so far that just in that glass, smelling it, I could not put my finger on what it could possibly be. And for me, that's the most magic thing a beer can do as a 4-ingredient beer. Like it blows you the fuck away.
You can ask them because I don't think those monks have taken a vow of silence.
No, but it's what's in it: malt, water, hops, and yeast.
Yeah, that's it.
They don't add anything to it.
It's just what ratios.
Pardon me, I have to clean the chair that I'm sitting on.
Yes. I'm sitting here at Totes Jelly as you sit there and sip on that. That is one of my favorite beers produced on the planet.
Yeah. I mean, Westy's definitely a close second to this. I love West Letteren, but Trappist Rockford 10 is my favorite Trappist. It's definitely.
The best part about loving that, John, is it sits.
Yeah.
It can.
You don't need to put that in your cellar.
Nope.
Because every beer guy with a heart buys it for their store. Mm-hmm. And then guys like us walk in and be like, I guess I'll take this 9-year-old Vessi.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I can drive half a mile down the road here, even up in Rhode Island, and grab one of them.
Wait, if you drive half a mile down the road, you're out of Rhode Island, right?
And if he drives half a mile up the road, he's out of Rhode Island.
I tripped and fell out of Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is about the size of 2 counties in New Jersey. That's about the size of it.
Please stop. Still 97 towns, but 2 counties.
Actually, Rhode Island, I think, has 5 counties. Delaware is the one with 2.
There you go. So, we got another.
But do the towns change name every 2 traffic lights, like Jersey?
Actually, no. It's very much like Jersey, where they have the principalities, the towns, the municipalities, that is, and then there's all these little villages within the municipalities. Like when you start getting into Central and South Jersey, it's not so much true up in North Jersey, but definitely down in South Jersey, right?
Yeah. Well, except that, let's face it, there's a baker's dozen worth of oranges in North Jersey. So.
And there's just no, what is it? There's southeast, west, and no north. Orange.
Southeast. There's
a central though. There's an orange.
Oh, there's just orange. Yeah.
There's orange. Yeah. South orange, east orange, west orange, and orange. Yes.
Yeah, and no north.
So, can anybody in the chat, any of the half a dozen people paying attention, does anybody have this old school? Does anybody have this old school in their cellar? Like, I just thought it'd be fun to pull out because I'm trying to save this. I'm trying to save this box for the actual event.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
for Saturday. That's supposed to be drank on Saturday.
Friday, Saturday. But what I'm saying is, trying to save the box for that. I was like, but I got one of these, so I'll just open it with the boys. It's lovely. Like, it's super lovely.
It's so good. So good.
It's lovely.
Brian says he always has a Roquefort at home.
Oh, thanks for not opening it when I was there. Thanks.
You just timed yourself out there, Brian. So, but in any event, there is a reason that I did open this, because that's going to lead us into our top threes. Our top threes.
And the reason we wanted to do this with you on the show.
Gee, I wonder why he thinks we wanted to do this with him on the show.
Because you were a food blogger at one point, were you not?
I was back before there were food blogs.
Mm-hmm. And you
the
also
original food blogger, folks. Right?
One of the originals.
Not the original.
Not the one of.
Me and 2 other people.
Just about.
Me and 2 other people.
And got kicked out of a lot of restaurants going, what the hell are you doing? Get out of here. But also, not a lot of people know this, and I'll out you on this. Augie did a TED Talk called Beer is Cuisine. And in that, he really does talk about beer and food, treating beer more as food, but there's also was that pairing element as well.
Sure.
So we wanted to talk to Augie and about this and bring this up as far as our favorite food and beer pairings. And John and I had a discussion, are we getting specific as far as the dish and the beer, or is it just going to be general, like kind of like a lager and pizza? So,
which is always fun.
That's cheating.
The problem with that, as one Jersey guy and one recovering Jersey guy, is what you want is
coming back.
But what you want is the best pairing And the
Right.
best pairing for a slice of pizza is a red Coca-Cola cup with crushed ice and syrupy fountain soda.
And that
And no matter,
crystally red. Yes, yes.
even the best pizza in the world, that hard plastic Coca-Cola cup full of crushed ice.
Absolutely.
Like, you want the best pairing in any situation.
There's
no beer. So we have the.
So what's that, like a
Coke.
That cup is like what, a 16-ounce cup, and there's probably about 3 ounces of liquid in it, and the rest is all ice.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's actually, because of the amount of ice, the syrup is dialed up. You know what I mean?
So you mentioned
what's the ice? It becomes the actual Coke.
What's pizza Pope here?
So the greatest pizza maker in the world is now in Atlantic Highlands, conveniently, since you left.
I remember you actually talking about this.
Yeah. But so he's here, and I make a beer for him. Like, I make a version of Web called Frustra, designed around eating his pizza. And he legitimately, like, he's on the TV show Billions. He literally is the best pizza maker, I think, anywhere. He's fucking genius.
So you're saying that when I come back,
designed.
When I come back, my welcome back party is going to be there?
No. But I'll get you pizza. You don't have to wait for the pizza. I can get you one pizza out the back door. But there's no way I'm going in that room. But anyway, so I make a beer specifically designed to go with his pizza. But the truth is, a slice of pie out of a Jersey shop with a red plastic cup of crushed ice and Coke is the best pizza and beverage pairing there is. So don't give me your Chianti in the crazy ass fiasco. Don't give me my beer with his pizza. You're grabbing a slice, a twice cooked, crispy bottom, hot top, gonna burn your face slice. You want a fucking red plastic cup of Coca-Cola.
Absolutely.
But Coca-Cola does not fit our topic here. We are talking about food and beer pairings.
Yeah.
So
go on.
So throw us yours, Augie.
Why don't you start? Yeah, start us off.
So it's funny. The beer you're going to open next is Monkey Chase the Weasel.
Yes, it is. Actually, I'm open now. I'm going to open it right now.
Okay. But I try to identify those as Highlander Weisses because I'm not from Berlin. So it's not a Berliner Weiss. No. And we're not in Berlin.
It's
not a Berliner Weiss. It's our thing, but it's inspired by them. And what we do is
since this is one of your old school and originals, it's going into the original.
Proper glassware. By the way, did I show you guys? I love. Anyway,
and I'm coming down for that. You know, you're selling that in the. Are you selling that one?
I think so. You got to ask Ryan. I don't know.
Because I need that, and I may need that shirt. I may need that shirt you're wearing too.
This just came out. This is actually, if you have this can. This art on this label is one of my brewers, Max. So when Max did that label, Ryan made him do a shirt too. So this is Max's art on a shirt.
What variations that come in? You got the long sleeve crew neck. Do you have a V-neck for women?
I think that's it. I don't think so. I don't know. But anyway, so back
getting out of the merchandising portion of the
sorry,
show.
You know I don't know how to merchandise.
You know how easily distracted I am.
No, I was just talking about Dave wanting to buy all this shit. That's what
I get easily distracted. But hey, Bling.
If I knew how to merchandise, I'd be Sam Calagione. But anyway.
So back to your beer.
So I'll keep it simple. So my favorite beer pairing is, so for me,
God, I love this.
There's all the meals you're gonna have, and one of my favorite meals is that picnic with my lady love, right? And my favorite picnic thing is just cold ass fried chicken. Just buy fried chicken the day before, salt it while it's hot, throw it in a napkin, wrap it in a basket, go sit on a blanket. Cold, salty fried chicken.
That's poetry right there.
And then that type of beer is my favorite, right? So a fruited Berliner, right? So there's a bit of acidity, there's a bit of wrinkle, there's a bit of fruitiness, but mostly it's just a very simple, acidic, little clean thing that washes out the fat of the cold fried chicken. The salt plays with the fruit, and it's all that experience. So our entire Highlander catalog and real Berliners plus syrup and a whole school of Berliners that aren't this new wonder. Like, so Trillium now does what's become the fruited Berliner thing, and they have one called Daily Dose, which is my favorite new beer. And we're working on a series called
I got a few of them in the fridge. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're working on a series called Puree because there's something to that half fruit, that half fruit, half sour.
What's it called? Puree?
Kind of pure, Pure -YAY.
Okay.
Puree.
So it's like a kettle sour or?
Well, it's a kettle sour plus it's 50-50 juice, so it'll end up around 6%. But it's what we used to call a radler, but using a sour instead of a lager.
Right.
And that's what I think all those beers are. That's what I think all those beers are, but they've become known as fruited Berliners. And I don't mean that because those are too fruity to play this game. The ones that are dried out, the ones that are still see-through light yellow and crispy fried chicken. So anybody's real Berliner, Westbrook Goza, any of those with cold, salty fried chicken on a picnic with your lady love or your gentleman love, whoever you may be. And so that's one. So you brought out the Roquefort. The other one is the horrible, angry Spanish and British blue cheeses.
Oh, love them.
Like the ones that just hurt your face.
Nice vein, Stilton.
Cabrales and Stilton and all this. With one of those beers, this kind of beer. But keep in mind, this barley wine is striking me far more Trappist than barley wine. But any of those really sweet, really fruity, Special B, Crystal 60, really fermented, dried out, old, sweet ones with that angry fucking blue cheese.
But what?
And then
a Gorgonzola from Italy, like even a Gorgonzola from Italy.
Yeah, but those are too sweet. Gorgonzolas are too sweet. You need the Gorgonzola that the guy forgot to put away last night. The beer needs to save the beer needs to save the cheese. The cheese needs to be so mouth drying and brutal, so blue and so angry that without the sweetness of the beer, you wouldn't have a second bite of cheese. And the beer needs to be so brulee and sweet and treacly that you wouldn't drink the whole beer.
To wash off
plus the other,
to wash off the curd off the top of your palate, right?
Exactly. I need a piece of the cheese. Oh fuck it, the beer. Oh, the beer's too sweet. Oh,
more cheese, more beer, more cheese. Yeah,
exactly.
I love those cheeses. I can eat those all day. I can eat them, and I need the beer to wash them down. But I can eat those cheeses all day. So
yeah,
absolutely.
Well, yeah, but you learn that those first times you have it proper, like Pedro Jimenez, and you're like, fuck, I'm not sure I'm ever gonna taste again. And then you chase it. You're like, oh, that's really nice. I want more of that cheese.
Then, I know. I need more of the beer. So the cheese is the want. The beer is the want. The cheese is the want. The beer is the need.
Sure.
Yeah, exactly. They. But and then finally, it's just a burger and a beer, and I don't care what it
is. You stole my number 3, so that's a segue into. That will be a segue into my 3.
All right, so do yours. Yeah.
Because my third is, and John knows I was struggling with the third, so I decided to go simplistic with the third. A nice bacon cheeseburger on a brioche bun with a Guinness is just, to me, heaven. Guinness is one of those classics, and it just pairs so well with a burger, especially when you've got bacon on it.
Guinness, not nitro carton of milk? You sure?
I gotta go. I'm sorry. I gotta go get it.
Now you gotta fight.
I gotta go get it. Don't start shit, John.
So now, hold on. Now, Dave, I'm gonna interrupt you because you're close to what I was thinking, but a little different. And that is, truth is, any bar you're getting a burger in, because there's 2 kinds of burgers in the world: the slider and the bar burger. One is 4 ounces, one is 8 ounces or 16 ounces pre-cooked. But the big ass fucking bar burger that goes with a beer, every bar has their own, and there's no 2 the same. So you can't mandate brioche bun, you can't mandate all that. It's their burger. But every town has the place you go for a burger and a beer, and those bars tend to be so. Yeah, well, Barnacles, but we've got others too. But what I'm saying is those bars tend to be so old that it's not like they're not updating their tap list every day. There's the 5 taps they have, but there's the beer and their burger. And there's definitely places it's Guinness, and there's definitely places it's Sierra, and there's definitely places it's Sam Adams, but they find their groove where the beer and the burger go together. And that's what I'm talking about is, all right, the one draft I would pick on their 5, because, it's always going to be Miller and Coors and Bud, and then 1 or 2. Right. So whatever beer I would pick on their list, and sometimes that's going to be Guinness, plus their burger, how they do it. Sometimes it's the bacon cheddar burger. Sometimes it's the English muffin American burger. Sometimes it's the brioche, jalapeno cheeseburger.
The New Jersey morning burger.
Yeah, there's always going to be that way, the way they find their balance, right? So you put pork, roll, egg, and cheese on a burger.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe you want, if you call it pork, roll, egg, and cheese, maybe you want mine or Mike's beer. If you call it Taylor ham, egg, and cheese, maybe you should kill yourself. I don't know.
Let's not start that war right here.
Well, you know what? Look,
you know what I wanted to do?
We on this show.
I wanted to stick that bullshit to Eric, but I didn't want to do that before Eric.
On this show, we call it Taylor pork roll because it's what it says on the package. But no, you hit my point there, where it is what they have on tap, and a lot of places that have really good burgers may not be craft beer joints. So pairing a Guinness with a really good burger, and the other thing is when you've got a really good burger. So there's places that I know that have great burgers, like let's take Cloverleaf. They've got great burgers, right? But if you're drinking something that's along their repertoire of craft beers, where you've got some really good stuff there. You've got such a flavorful beer that sometimes it steps over the burger. So I want a beer that's got enough beef to it to stand up to the burger, but it's also kind of get out of the way of the flavors of the burger. That's why it's like I like a Guinness with a bacon cheeseburger, because it's got enough to it, but it's also thin enough that I'm tasting my burger. I'm tasting every element of that burger as well.
Well, to be fair, and here's where I'm going to geek out on you a little bit.
Oh, please
geek away.
But when I describe the flavors of Guinness to people that have never applied wine imagination to beer,
that's a lot of people.
The flavors of Guinness are kind of rotten roasted apples.
Mm-hmm.
Little bit of sour, and so my joke is it's a steel knife. It's an apple off a steel knife, right? So it's the apple that's been sitting on the ground.
Yep. Fell off the tree 2 days ago. Yep.
Cut the bruise out, and then you bite the apple, and that's what Guinness tastes like. It's everybody thinks it's black and it's rich, and it actually tastes like it's slightly rotting apples and steel. Now, if you think about the burger you're describing in this situation, it's cheddar, which everybody puts with apples, and bacon, which everybody smokes with apple wood.
Yeah.
So if you dissect those flavors out into their constituent parts, you have your, kind of roasty apple, ripened flavors, and things that complement that all together. Right. So that's why that pairing totally makes sense. Yeah. But again, if your fucking spot has a American cheeseburger with jalapenos in it, the Guinness is going to fucking suck.
No,
which is why I think but what I'm saying is I think you got to trust the tradition of the spot, right? Like
I agree. I agree.
That,
in that case, I'm going with a Pilsner.
Well,
but
you really could do a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale.
You could.
Fucking could.
It might be beautiful. We'll move on to my second, and you were quasi involved in my my second pairing here, because this second pairing was it was something that was revelatory to me. It was, I think, Cloverleaf's second beer dinner. Okay, so their first beer dinner was a Belgian beer dinner.
Second.
It was their second, because I think the first one was a Belgian. Not one, but I think it was their second. 2. And the second was it was a beer dinner that featured two of the two best, maybe the two best breweries in New Jersey at the time, which were Carton and Cade. No, Carton. Carton and Kane.
I was going to say too, but I don't want to piss somebody off, so I'm just going to.
It was Dave and you. And so before, to our listeners, Augie had mentioned Mike, and when he means Mike, he means Mike Kane at that time.
Mickey to you and me.
Yes. And this beer dinner was a New Jersey craft beer dinner, and it was Kane and Carton, and Mike and Augie took turns back and forth pairing dishes with their beers. And Mike had the honor of doing the dessert. And the dessert, no offense, Augie, but the dessert blew me away as far as that pairing was concerned.
I don't even remember dessert.
So what they did is they took Head High.
If I'm drinking, by the time I get to dessert, I really don't remember it anymore.
Yeah, no, I was actually really good at this point, and they took Head High, and they paired it with carrot cake. And this to me, it was beautiful. The reason it was beautiful is this was the first, and the reason it was revelatory to me because it taught me how complementary flavors between your libation of choice and what you were eating, these things could actually cancel each other out. So some of your flavors, let's take the carrot cake. You've got spice in the carrot cake. You've got your cream cheese icing. You've got your carrots, right? You've got walnuts in there, and then you take Head High. Head High is kind of a citrus forward. There you go. There we go. It's a citrus forward, East Coast IPA. And it's got quite a load of bitterness to it. It's pretty high up in their IBUs. So this is the first time that I experienced complementary flavors in a pairing cancel each other out to enhance the overall experience and bring up the other flavors that might be hidden. So you had the hoppiness and the spice, hoppiness in the beer, the spice in the carrot cake cancel each other out. You had the bitterness of and then there was the contradictory.
Hold on. The thing I think you're missing here, and I was there, so you said I was there, so I definitely had it. But what I think would be interesting, what I think would be interesting that I think you're skipping over that would definitely work in this pairing.
But I'm not done yet.
Hold on, cream cheese icing.
That's where I was going next.
Would dull the bitterness.
Exactly.
What I'm saying?
That was the next thing coming out of my mouth. Augie,
well, what I'm saying is that would make room for the spice to play with the Chinook in that beer, right? So,
yeah.
So the spice in the once you have the cream cheese take the bitter out, now the Chinook and the cardamom or mace are going. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm just. I saw it from the.
What I'm saying is. I saw it from the other direction. I saw the bitterness of the beer knock out the sweetness of the cream cheese icing. Right? That's the way I saw it. That's the way I tasted it. Was that
cream cheese icing isn't sweet? That's why it's on carrot cake. The fat was taking the bitter out.
The fat and the cheese was taking the bitterness out of
the fat and the cheese was taking the bitterness out of the beer.
Well, but the end result was that there were elements of the carrot cake that shined through. You could actually taste the carrot.
Well, sure.
Which was wonderful. So you had the contradictory flavors, the complementary flavors start to cancel each other out and bring out other elements that you would miss in the dessert and also in the beer.
Do you have this beer? You should drink this beer.
I'm not drinking it now. I'm going to drink it for EBF. Stop. I'm drinking it. It's Friday.
We really got to pre-plan the drinking.
And you will be and we will be on camera.
Here's the problem,
you.
guys. I would back you up and send you ones to make it up to you, but 3,000 cans is a lot for me. I almost didn't make it. I don't have any extra of this beer.
So you're gonna like my number one,
except the one you just opened.
Yes.
No, well, I kept a case.
So
that's my case. You guys can come here and drink it.
I was saying, Augie, when I come home, I'm coming to visit once you allow other people in your house. Well, no, we'll be back at the Wood House.
Figure 2027.
We'll be outside.
So my number one pairing, and Augie, you're familiar with this one because I've checked it in so many times on Untapped, and I know you don't look at every check-in on Untapped. But
I've been so much. By the way, so not to interrupt, I've been so bad about it since I quit Wall Street. So when I would have to sit
you would think it would go the other way.
No. When I would have to sit down at work 6 a.m. every day, the first thing I did was just bring up Untapped and see what people said last night, because I see it as an asset to me. When I go to the brewery for work, I start talking about the beers. You know what I mean? Like on Wall Street, I wanted to know what was being said about the beer. So I'd immediately jump in and be like, what happened last night? What were people saying? What happened? And it's always fun when a friend checked in. But that free market research was the key to that experience.
Sure.
Now I'm actually in the brewery. And before I ever get to my computer, I'm talking to 4 brewers. Then I get upstairs and I'm not like, I wonder what happened in Carton drinking last night. So now I'm doing these catch-up days, like, because I don't want to stop that. I think it's a cool 10-year tradition that if you're my friend and you drank my beer, I toasted you.
Absolutely.
But now I'm like, oh, well, it's Wednesday. Like today's Tuesday.
So everybody listening, so everybody who's listening who has checked in a Carton beer and Augie has not toasted you, please don't take it personally.
No, the tasting room still toasts everybody. Right, the tasting room still
you personally, yeah.
Augie Carton's friends, my 21,000 friends, haven't seen me. You know, there's been these big gaps where I'm like, oh, I haven't looked at Untapped since Monday, and it's Friday. And I'm like, fuck it. It only lets you get back.
And it's Tuesday morning, yeah.
But all these check-ins I referenced were prior to you quitting your day job, and
well, it only just happened.
Yeah, yes. It's a month and a day.
Well, also, the beer that I'm talking about, I have not had access to in about a year, and I probably ran out of the stock that I brought up.
Probably your fault.
Always my fault. And
I'm sure I have something to do with it.
No, you're not to blame, John. I'm not going to blame you, John.
How do you guys not have this?
Oh. I have it. It's sitting over there, but I'm saving it. It's for Friday. Stop. You're killing us. So... But this one you've seen many times, and I don't know if you agree with this, but one of my favorite pairings.
This is your number one.
This is my number one. Hands down my number one. At the risk of being too damn hipster, I do love avocado toast. Love it, love it, love it. And one of my favorite pairings to have with it, or even just take an avocado, half the damn thing, pull the damn pit out, salt and pepper it, and eat it like goddamn pudding with a spoon. You know, right out of its rind. I love it. But one of my favorite pairings with it, and I think it goes so wonderfully, is boat and avocado. I just love the way they work together. There's kind of a vegetal background flavor to boat.
Wait, what'd you say?
Vegetal.
Oh, vegetal. I thought there was an A in there.
No, I was not going a Canadian capital. But a vegetal flavor. Background flavor to boat coming out of there.
I call it cabbage, but come on.
Right, but it will then interact with the vegetality. We're making up words now of the avocado.
Well, we say nose feel on every single freaking podcast, so you can say vegetality if you want.
Vegetality of the avocado, and it interferes with that to bring out different flavors of the avocado, and allows the grapefruit flavors of the boat to really kind of pop out as well. And I just love that pairing. And I haven't done avocado toast since I ran out of boat, and it is a cloudy disaster.
Here we go.
But best friend of Vegetal, John Hall isn't on the episode. Fucking John Hall.
Love John. The dry sense of humor. If it's just those side comments that he makes when you talk to him, that if you're not paying attention, you're gonna miss.
I adore John Hall.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't?
But that's my number one pairing. Avocado, either avocado toast or straight out.
Let me ask you this. Being a guy who has put a can of my beer in the ass of a chicken.
I have, yes.
Have you
He's not live.
Folks, the chicken was not live. Don't worry. Right?
Oh no, this is a gutted chicken. But,
that's why it fit.
It was not some sort of weird fetish.
So for what you want to do, here's what I want to do. I want you to open your can of boat. I want you to pour half in a saucepan. I want you to put some rice wine vinegar in there. I want you to put some lime zest in there.
John, please, Brian, take notes on this because we need you.
I want you to put on a low flame.
So let's go back. So we've got rice wine vinegar, boat.
We've got half a can of boat, rice wine vinegar, and some lime zest. in the smallest pot you have on a low flame and just let it cook.
Mm-hmm.
Just let it cook, let it cook, let it cook. And then when it's just syrup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like coats the back of a spoon syrup.
Yep.
Turn it off. Put another shot of boat into it and a little bit fresh lime zest. And then pour that into your avocado. Sprinkle some sea salt on top and eat that with the remaining half can of boat. And I'm pretty sure that will be better than mashing it into bread like you're some child who doesn't know how to use kitchen tools.
Very nice. Very nice.
There you go. I got it written down for you.
You got it written down for me?
Good thing I took shorthand. There you
Please. So it says blah, 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 blah.
I can read it. That's all that matters.
You sure that's not Julian code right there?
It's Julian, yeah, but I got it.
None of it. Here's what's said. This is a beer podcast. I am a brewer. The two of you are respectable drunks. None of us could decipher the Julian code. None of us. None of us. And I have glasses now. I can read. I have glasses now.
So here's the best part: is we segued into this with John's beer,
and I haven't.
John's the last one to go on his 3. So you got the you've got the Trappist Rochefort 10.
I hope this beer is in one of them. Fuck.
Well, him and I only have one can. We can't open it yet. We're opening it on Friday. Stop! You're killing us.
All right, so
so fucking dirty.
Shut up.
First of all, I just want to mention.
I mean, it makes me want to.
Just as a throwback to the pork roll thing, okay? I grew up in North Jersey, so I grew up calling it Taylor ham, okay?
Yeah, your father would be very disappointed in you. Your father would be disappointed in you calling it pork roll.
It's not your fault. Being right at the end of the Verrazano-Narrows Bridge, you're just surrounded by people that don't know what a ham is. It's not your fault.
And they enjoy being wrong.
I moved down the shore. I moved down the shore 4 years ago.
Down the shore.
And I now
now you can call it home.
Right. I moved home 4 years ago.
I moved my home.
I moved my home 4 years ago.
You know the best part about living here, John? You're going to love this. You can just call it the beach.
It's the beach.
It doesn't have to be the shore anymore.
It's not the shore. It's the beach.
At the beach, we call it pork roll.
I don't say I walk
to the shore.
Yeah, exactly. We call it pork roll.
Of course you do.
But I will tell you this.
We call it pork roll.
The day after I moved here, I walked to a store 2 blocks away. And I was going to get a pork roll, egg, and cheese on a brioche bun, and they do it. And it was suggested go there. It's the best one right now.
Brioche bun? No.
The way they made it. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant.
Okay.
Whatever I had
it on.
It's irrelevant for the.
You assaulted me.
It's irrelevant for the story. It's irrelevant for the story. Anyway, so I walk over there and I said, "Yeah, can I get 2 pork roll, egg, and cheese?" I said a T of tail, and I caught myself and I cleared my throat. Pork roll, egg, and cheese on a So, and that was the only way they served it. They had it on the brioche. That's it. They didn't have it on anything else. Who are you calling?
John Hall.
Are you calling John Hall?
That's pretty.
Finish your 2 quick before he picks up. He might be
2. He's got 3. He hasn't even done 1 yet.
No, he just did. He did his pork roll, egg, and cheese and boat beer.
He did his pork roll, egg, and cheese and boat beer.
Did you?
By the way.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't gotten to the point yet.
I haven't even gotten to the point yet.
By the way, if you want to fight with people, make a beer called regular coffee and write the word pork roll on the side.
That was, you know what, Augie?
That's how you get attention.
One of my pairings was almost pork roll, egg, and cheese and regular coffee because of the launch.
Here's Brian's next comment.
You could have just stopped at poor John Flouting.
He is not wrong.
He could have just stopped at me. Poor me.
You could have just stopped at poor John Flouting, period.
But pork roll, egg, and cheese and regular coffee, that was a hell of a morning that turned into a lost evening.
Sure. All right, so
the worst part is you dumped me at home at 2 p.m. You have a whole night after that. I was so shambles. 2 p.m. You're like, Lauren, here's your husband.
Yeah, please take care of him.
That was terrible. Yeah, I should not be sponsored to drink.
No, and it's funny because before Uber existed, I was your Uber for a while.
There you go. Oh, many people.
Well, you were in the state.
There you go.
I was one of the Ubers.
All right, so we'll get to my 3 now. Here we go.
Many Ubers have been Augie's Uber.
There you go. Many Ubers have been Augie's Uber. Exactly. All right. So
I'm gonna
what
mute
I did was
myself.
this.
Wait, this is
When
in
you
Zoom. How do I mute myself?
You don't have to
I
mute
wanna
yourself.
let you
Don't worry.
talk.
I want you to talk. I want you to interject. Don't worry about it. I want you to. So anyway, so what I did was this. I thought about it. I go out to a place. I'm constricted by their beer list. So I thought about, okay, when I cook at home, when we cook here, and I compare it with what I want to pair. So that's where I went with this. Okay, if you look at my bio on the website, on the Log Room website.
Hold on, I'm going to do that now.
No,
not capable.
It says once thought to be the most prolific bratwurst griller in Northeast United States. So bratwurst is And then on my
That's
Instagram,
the cheesehead fan thing going. Right?
On my Instagram, it says grills and mean bratwurst. So anyway, bratwurst, Hefeweizen,
classic.
Hef with brat, Hef with a brat. And honestly, my favorite Hef forever has been Weihenstephaner. So
solid.
Weihenstephaner Hef,
classic.
Bratwurst on a bun, good to go. Done. Little mustard, little nice seeded German mustard. Good to go.
Here's my problem with what you're saying.
Go for it.
And not.
This is why I didn't want you to mute yourself.
No, but you're absolutely right. Here's my problem. So I don't think I've ever been in a situation where I would. I don't think I've ever been in a situation.
I get my guitar.
Where I could have that happen to me. Like I'd have to arrange it. So I'm not a guy who cooks brats. And what's funny is my wife now has a brat thing where she does like a whole onion cook thing and a beer thing and throws brats on. And part of that is how cool brats have gotten recently. You know what I mean? Like just changing the seeds you put in your force meat makes a brat so much more interesting. And there was a guy from Chicago who did encased meats geniusly, and it just wonderful. But he's changed my whole opinion of all that. And I've always liked meats.
I like that phrase.
That's his. It's if you don't, he's out of business already. But when Chicago tried to ban foie, a hot dog guy fought the. It's called hot dogs. If you don't know hot dogs, research it that was after now. But
that was on a episode of whatever.
Something.
Thanks. But he's a genius. Yeah. He's a genius, and I have his cookbook, and I love him, and he always did good shit. And he was great, but he introduced me to the idea of just changing the seeds in your brats, and all of a sudden they became much more interesting because what if, and
right.
Encased meats or anyway. But I don't. When you say that, I don't think I've ever had that, so I'd have to force it to happen.
Okay.
And even if I think like I have this dream trip that never happens, most recently because of COVID, where I just take 2 or 3 brewers and we just go act like idiot tourists under the tents in Munich in September. Because we us, we are Pilsner people, sure. We are lager people, we do that, but I want to just revel in that culture. But even if I was there with a mug in my hand, I don't think I could get an authentic brat with an authentic, you know what I mean? Like that's the problem. Everything's become so niche in what we're talking about. There's this version of the brat. So I love it, but I don't know that I've ever had it to agree with you or not. You know what I mean? Like, does that make sense?
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense.
Then
and
don't go there
what I said
at the time.
This is why I said what I said. I went to what I can control. I can control what I'm drinking, what I'm making.
But then I got to come to your house to have this.
Come over.
Well, why not?
I'll make them.
When you're on Facebook, 70,000 people might come to your house. Trust me, there's WRXs in my driveway every day, man. You don't want this.
Just invite 7.
Just 7. That's all. So all right. So anyway,
there's 2 sitting here. So number 2,
Weihenstephaner have bratwurst. That's number 3. All right, number 2.
I love it. I just don't know that I've ever had it.
Got to get you to have it. It's so good.
So that's an open invite, Augie.
It's an open invite. Absolutely.
Make it. I'll come.
Absolutely.
Come right now. I got a mask.
That's fine. I got the grill with the fire pit too, right on the deck. We're good to go.
Just do it after March. So I'm in state.
You're in state. And you can buy.
You know what? Start cooking now. I'll get Lauren to drive me because I'm clearly wasted. But I'll bring you one of these.
Brian said he'll come by too. He knows where I live. So
hey, you know what's funny is then we'll log back on and we'll show Samurai how good these are.
There you go.
They're so good. Fuck, so good.
So,
Stop it. Shut up.
all right, my number two. I went.
See you Friday on that.
I went a little vague on this one. Beef stew. Love beef stew. Love beef stew.
Guinness.
Okay.
No,
Better be Guinness.
no.
No, he's not going to go Guinness here.
Schwartz beer. Dark lager.
Okay.
Nice,
Okay, yeah.
good, malty.
I see it.
Not just like a nice
I
5-6%
can see
Schwartz
it,
beer.
I'm gonna beat you up on this one.
Go for it. I
Here's
don't want
why.
anything too stouty. Stouty, is that another word?
No,
Is
no,
that
no. That's not it. That's not what I'm saying. I like contradiction in my pairings.
Mhm.
Like acidity with
Who
fat.
doesn't?
You like contradiction in your pairings.
I do. I like acidity with fat. I like richness with.
Sure. No. Well, I mean that's
malts.
really the game.
But
right?
what you're doing is doubling down, right? What you're doing is
with this one, yes.
and
doubling
and
down.
I know there's a sense to that. It doesn't.
It's
It's
just
never my instinct. My instinct is always the beef stew is this, and that's when
Yeah.
the roasted the Guinness come in for me. Right?
Contrast. Yeah.
Let's go the other way and let's create some tension for the two to be in the middle. But clearly, if you check the reviews on this lovely fucking beer I'm drinking, I don't know shit about making beer.
No, because that's a fucking abomination.
abomination.
Cherries and
Get it right.
pineapple. And the worst part
Abomination.
is I've been drinking it for so long. It's gone through that. So remember that cheese we were talking about? There was a point where I was like,
That brutal blue
I
cheese.
hope they have blue cheese when they get to this part of this can.
I'm going out and getting blue cheese.
And then the
so.
next one, I was like, oh my god, it tastes like.
So wait a second.
When you go to.
Are you telling everybody here who's going to be at EBF that Friday night when we get to the Carton beer, make sure you've got some blue cheese that is going to challenge you?
But here's the thing: for one sip, the whole idea of EBF was to stack, and at this
drink the beer first.
Hold on.
Taste
At
the beer
this-
by
at-
itself first.
No,
have the cheese later.
You're not listening. There's a certain
No,
sip
I'm
of
not.
that halfway
Of
through
course
the can
not.
because I'm
I
now
never
further.
listen to you.
And now, do you remember when we used to go to Tapanaki places before they were ubiquitous and then they broke up? But there was like the karate punch drink in a clay glass
Oh yeah,
before
the
the Polynesian places.
Yeah.
Right now, this beer tastes like a karate punch with some sake bomb dropped in it. You know,
Like a scorpion bowl with sake.
What we thought our job was to give everybody everything in a 12-ounce can. But literally, when you were still talking, Dave, I was like, oh, Dave's blue cheese will go great with this. There's that cherry wrinkle. There's that pineapple wrinkle. By the time John's talking, I'm like, oh, fuck, karate punch.
Okay, so I'm going out and I'm getting some really sharp blue cheese.
I'm getting super sharp blue cheese. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, all right. So anyway, there you go. Schwartz beer and beef stew. My number one. Here we go.
Number one. Brrr, drum
This
roll.
beer right here.
West Fletterin 10.
No,
that's not West Fletterin. That is Trappist Roachford 10.
Trappist Roachford.
Travis Roachford 10 and boat beer. Perfect pairing.
That's the pairing. you cook this to a nice medium rare. And,
Nailed it.
Nailed it, right. So, Trappist Roachford 10.
To be fair, we cooked boat beer 2 stories ago.
This is true. There you go. Trappist Roachford 10.
Cooking boat beer, that blows my mind. Anyway, go ahead. That is some cloudy cookiness.
And a perfectly grilled filet mignon.
Harumph.
Did I disappoint you with my number
mignon?
1? A grilled filet
Grilled filet mignon?
Grilled. Yes. Perfectly grilled.
A waste of charcoal.
I'm not charcoaling anything. I'm putting it on my...
you should pan sear a filet.
Well, a filet you should never eat if you're a gentleman.
Get yourself a ribeye.
But something with some fat.
Oh, no.
On the bone.
Deep.
I can go into what I compare with a ribeye or a prime rib. I'm talking about this beer and a filet. That's what I'm talking about.
I get what you're saying, but what I think you're matching is that high tone caramelness to the Maillard scorch of the fat, and filet is so non-fatty, right?
Fatless.
Fillets need sauce. I would go with a steak that stands alone as a steak. So, not to jump on Dave's thing, but what's that there's that New York Peter Luger spinoff that is in Somerville. You know what I mean? Like so Peter Luger's, when they broke up, they had like 50. There's this steakhouse, and one of them landed in Somerville or near Somerville, New Jersey.
Down
but they
south,
have properly dry aged good steaks. They have really good steaks in Jersey.
Somerset.
They may be the best steak place I've been to in Jersey.
Really?
For dry aged steaks, but it's somebody's gonna have to look it up. It's the name of a waiter from Peter Luger's that opened.
Brian, look that one up, please.
Brian, check that out, please.
Brian, can you help? This one I would need. But they have properly aged. It might not be in Somerville. Somerville adjacent. It's in the greater Bridgewater metropolitan area.
Gotcha.
Somewhere between Philadelphia and New York.
Narrows it down. Thanks.
Along to us.
Your work's cut out for you here.
Somewhere in the corridor that's about the size of 4 Rhode Islands.
Yeah, right.
It's right in there.
Well, 17 Rhode Islands.
I was being nice. So,
but anyway, but what I'm saying is they have properly dried steaks. So there's that thing where a dried steak has all that fucking extra stink to it. Mm-hmm. That's where I would put that. The problem with filet is it's filet, right? It's all about, it's fun to eat. Like you can eat it with a fork, and that's pretty cool for a steak.
Right.
But really what you sauce it with is what it's going to be. You can put green peppercorns, black peppercorns, cheese, bechamel, all the mother sauces go on that steak. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think what you want from your pairing is the beer to be the sauce because it deserves it.
Well, I don't put any sauce on my filet. When I cook my filet, I use a little peppercorn or whatever, a little salt. But I mean, there's not much of it. It's just cooking it the right way. And when I grill it, I'm not putting it on a charcoal grill by any means, Dave. All right, I'm putting it on. I'm cooking it on my outdoor stove, okay? Because it's a propane grill. So,
well, if we're camping,
I'm not bringing a filet mignon to camp. Okay. I'm
just saying, if we're camping and you bring that beer to filet mignon, if you bring a glass bottle of beer and a filet mignon on our next camping trip, I will stop selling oatmeal.
Not from Brian, but I've got a text here. Wolfgang Schweiger, is that who you're talking about?
Wolfgang's. So Wolfgang's, wherever that is. Is it even near the town I said it was in?
It's somewhere in that neighborhood. Yeah.
I have no clue. All I got was Wolfgang Schweiger, and thank you very much.
But they properly age steaks. So the properly aged steak, where the sauce is unrequired and the fat has that fucking funk to it, that beer would destroy it. So
I can understand what you're saying because I've had plenty of dry aged steaks and
you're the only
phenomenal.
Person on this chat I can understand what I'm saying.
I have never had it with Trappist Roachford 10. So and
for that bit of information, my source taking you there. So we know.
There you go.
Oh, you're a little late, Brian. You're a little late.
Late, but thank you very much.
You may need to be replaced, Brian.
There you go, Brian.
Just so you guys know, and to be fair, we don't make any money on Still This Beer. But if Brian's trying out to be your producer like Justin Kennedy, he's nailing it. the fact that he has that right after a guest did, that's
you guessed it. You didn't guess it.
No, a guest did. See, I told you couldn't understand.
I guessed it.
Remember when John said,
you're slurring a little bit here.
Do you think?
You think?
I've had 2 barley wines.
Brian said that's the broadcast delay. So there
the broadcast delay.
I'm out of beer.
There you go.
I wish I offered my last beer with you guys before I go see my family.
All right.
Are your boys still outside? Wait a second. Are your boys still outside?
They might be. I assume they're with my wife inside.
You need to drag them in, get their fingers into some lukewarm water before they fall off.
Oh no, Lauren's definitely taking care of them. She knows.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. She's the adult in the house.
I'm drinking with you guys, so you take care of it. And it's been a damn January, so it might get silly. Anyway, we done, or should I grab another beer?
You can grab another beer if you want.
You can grab another
Well,
beer.
what should I grab?
Which one did you pull up?
Why don't we drink? Nah, it's too warm. All right, hold on. I'll be right back.
All right.
Oh, please don't make me get another
I'm only
beer.
going over
I've got to
here.
work. I've got to work tomorrow.
You can have another whip. Oh, you only poured your two.
No, I poured the two that I have. I had three. Drank one earlier in the week. No, that was last week, and finished the other two. Now I've got. Oh man, I've got so much to catch up on tomorrow. I'm done drinking.
How much do you have to catch up on?
Well, I'm actually kind of working two jobs at the same time right now. So.
Oh yes, that's true.
Yeah. But I was very happy. I actually managed to have almost a little impact on my new job today.
Is that right?
I was so thrilled.
So I heard you say no beer, so I came back.
So would you? So we're going. Oh, we're going back to the. Let's go back to
No, finish your story. I was giving you.
No, my story was done. We're gonna go back to the Ukes.
But anyway, I heard you say no more beer, and I thought that was a good move. So I'm going to say thank you, gentlemen. It's an honor being with you.
No, thank you. You're a first repeat guest, and for damn good reason.
I want to put up these two things. Hold on 1 second. Wait a minute.
We forgot something today, John. We forgot to ask what others were drinking. We had made a determination we were going to do that. He had a cookie.
Brian just had a cookie with his triple, and it brought out extra sweetness. Of the cookie or the triple?
Yeah, or Brian, because Brian can be sweet.
Or Brian, did it bring out extra sweetness in you?
Wait,
Brian?
when has Brian ever not been sweet?
This is true.
You know a bitter Brian?
I don't
know a bitter Brian.
Oh, you have not drank with him enough.
There you go.
I don't drink with anybody enough.
There you go. And he just told me to put up Gene's beer pairing. And I don't see it here. Oh, no. I got it.
Oh,
there's Gene's beer pairing right there. There's Gene's beer pairing.
Well, yeah. That's
burger and pizza with beer. That's his.
Absolutely classic. Simplified. I like it.
Burger and pizza with beer.
We did touch on
very ambiguous. Perfect. Done. There you go. So.
But you can't argue it.
Yeah.
Wait. It just occurred to me, Samurai, are you wearing a T-shirt for this beer fest?
Yes, I am. Stream Beer Fest. There we go. Because you didn't order.
Why don't I have it?
Did you not get
I definitely didn't.
Did you not get? You didn't get the discount code.
Well, do you really? Because he signed up for it and got them. And
why did they not send you one?
Hey, to be fair, and I don't think you guys know the state of craft beer these days. I was completely shocked when they sent me the box.
Right.
Really? Well, yeah.
Like I have a beer in the box. I didn't think I was getting my beer back.
What beer is that, Augie? Was it any good? Have you had it yet?
Well, I got to tell you, this is the first can I've opened since we canned it. Like I was very involved in the blend and the mix and the whatever. And the day we canned it, we shot the video for, Beer Advocate's like, can you send us a video about the making of the beer as well? So we waited till the day we canned it. So we'd been, we put the beer down. The base beer in this beer is 3 years old. So it's been going on forever.
Gotcha.
But when they asked us to do it, I was like, oh, I think I got a beer in mind. So we started fucking around. We started playing. Then blending because blending is a bitch, right? It's like writing a high school paper. You're like, I think it's done. Wait, let's taste it again. What if we had this? You know what I mean?
You're not talking copy and paste. Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you're just like, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. But what if we? And then, you know what I mean? So the blending of it was all of November. Then we landed on it, then we canned it, then we left it in the can for a week or two because bottle shock fucks everything up, and let it settle and let it get where it's going to go and let everything integrate. So when we shot the video with Brian Cass is, even though he's the world's most important can liaison in the world, he's still my video guy.
Hi, Manchild.
So Manchild showed up and we shot the video with him He's always a fun guy, right? Because he drinks everybody's beer on the East Coast. He's drinking it the whole time. We're drinking it with him, and it's fun. And it's just a good day. But it's just me and the brewers, and we knew we liked it. We knew what we were doing. We were just making the video for it. But it was the first time we'd opened the cans of what we'd blended to put in the cans. It was awesome. It's fucking great. And
hey, you've said a few times on this show.
Well, only while I was drinking it, but it's still in my
Only
mouth.
while you
I
were
was gonna
drinking
go get a whip. And you guys missed it. So.
There you go. Brian just gave us one more pairing. There you go. Dogfish Head 90, paired with Thai food, was the beer pairing that helped him decide to only drink craft beer.
That's
so
important.
That is an important, Thai food.
There is an important moment in our producer's life right there, and we shouldn't take any light. We should not make light of it.
You guys definitely have your own Justin Kennedy. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, we will put him to work more and more often, and
absolutely
further define his role.
Well, anyway, gentlemen, thank you very much. I'm going to go eat dinner with the wife and kids.
Why don't you do that?
As you should. Defrost your children.
Let me
I think they're in the house.
Let me wrap this up. So anyway, hang on 1 second before you go. All right. Anyway, we'll wrap the show up for today. We want to thank everyone for watching, and for those of you listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.lagerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Lager Room. And remember, we go live with the video podcast on both Facebook and YouTube every Tuesday at 5:30. And for those of you that just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, and Stitcher. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of those feeds, and you'll never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Augie, thanks for coming on with us again.
Thanks for having us, guys.
It's absolutely wonderful having you. It's a great show every time you come on. Everybody,
and we'll find another excuse to bring you back on.
Absolutely.
I'll see you next Tuesday.
Absolutely.
We'll talk about what happened.
Exactly.
We'll talk about what last week was.
Yeah, what the recovery time
from
was.
EBF. Absolutely.
You guys.
No. He's got more than EBF. He's got more than EBF.
He had us tonight, right? We started it, and then it's EBF, and then on from there. So
a nightmare. But you guys will have had the beer by then.
We will.
By then, we'll have had the beer, so we can talk about it.
You will be on this screen while I'm drinking that beer with Sam.
There you go. But
I hope Sam and you have a good time.
There you go. But
there's no doubt.
But yeah, thanks for coming on. And anybody out there that is participating in the EBF cyberspace this weekend, enjoy. Enjoy. If you're not, enjoy the beer you're drinking.
And enjoy responsibly.
Enjoy responsibly, absolutely. And we will talk to you soon, guys. Take care. Cheers.
Thanks, y'all. Be good.
Ciao.
Bye, guys.